any omega-3 fatty acids, but marine omega-3 fatty acids, meaning something that you can get from walnuts or flaxseed won't work. You gotta get marine sourced omega-3 fatty acids because they have different molecules, different molecular structure, and only that our brain can use and our body needs. And then also there are quite a few micronutrient requirements that are already established, and you can go to, for example, a really great site that I love is Consumer Lab that does supplement they test different supplements for the quality. And so this website, it has all the established for this day, for today, nutrition needs for micronutrients. Like, for example, a lot of people are deficient in vitamins A, fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, K2, that a lot of people don't even know that K1 and K2 are completely two different vitamins. And a lot of people, especially vegetarian, vegans, but in general people who don't eat a variety of whole foods, are deficient in vitamin K2 that activates vitamin A, vitamin D, that activates your calcium. So if you're not getting, for example, vitamin K2, that your calcium will stick everywhere in your arteries, in your soft tissues, forming stones in your gallbladder or your kidneys. It will go everywhere. It will form plaque on your teeth, the kind of white plaque that you need to remove by cleaning your teeth. So if you don't consume vitamin K2, for example, your calcium will go all over the place, but not where it needs to go, into your bones and into your teeth, for example, right? A lot of people these days are deficient in essential for life minerals that are also requirements for which are established, and you can Google them. So for example, the need for calcium, or the need for zinc, or the need for iron. A lot of women are deficient, for example, in iron because they consume less animal products that are especially rich in iron, the iron that our body can absorb and digest. Magnesium, potassium, a lot of people are not getting those, and those are very important for muscle contraction and heart. It's a muscle actually. So if you have problems, if you don't get enough potassium and magnesium, your cardiovascular system, your heart won't work well, and it's not a good news, as you can imagine. And so we have these requirements, and the best diet for a human being is the diet that satisfies the most of those nutrition requirements. And it's logical, right? So it's not about arguing whether plant-based or meat-based or paleo or I don't know, whatever, or keto diet is the best. It's not about the best. It's about the foods that satisfy nutrition needs the most, being the most effective, meaning our body can effectively absorb and digest the vitamins and nutrients in those foods. And the diet that consists of those foods that satisfy our nutrition needs the most, this is the best diet. Most plant foods, for example, do not satisfy our nutrition needs in fat-soluble vitamins, to name a few. Like, for example, vitamin A, not beta-carotene, but vitamin A that our body uses. That vitamin can only be found in animal foods, livers specifically. And you need to eat like a lot of carrots to get even close to what your body actually needs. And vitamin D, for example, there are only a couple of foods that have the amount of vitamin D that satisfies our needs, and most of us do not live in tropics to get vitamin D from sun, and even people who live in tropical region, they do not get outside as much as they need to get that vitamin D, right? And so there are just a few foods that have vitamin D. For example, cod liver has quite a lot, and you need to eat just an ounce, maybe ounce and a half of it. Egg yolks have some, but not a lot. Things like emu oil has really great absorbable vitamin D. And also vitamin K2 and vitamin A, great product, by the way. So the best diet for a human being and for any animal is the diet that satisfies the nutrition needs of this particular species. And so instead of, again, arguing about whether we should eat plants or we should eat meat, or we should eat potatoes, or we should, eat meat, we should focus on producing and eating the most amount of foods that satisfy our nutrition needs in the most effective and efficient way, so our body can digest and absorb those nutrients. And supplements do not work that well, just because when you get whole food, it's in that food matrix, what they call it. Basically, when you take whole foods, it has all these different nutrients that work as a system, like a puzzle, and it goes well together, and it works well together in our body because we are all evolved on this planet. We kind of have the same structure. Once you break down those links in those nutrients, once you take apart the food, then isolated nutrients do not work that well in our body. Sometimes the body won't recognize those nutrients and will eliminate that. Sometimes the body will be able to absorb only a fraction of those nutrients. So every time you mess up with your food or you create synthetic supplements, they just don't work that well, if work at all, without causing harm in our body. And that's why it's important to focus on the best quality of whole foods and eat and educate yourself about the nutrients that our human body needs and satisfy those nutrition needs maximum as much as you can through whole foods. And that's the best diet, and that's what I'm trying to do. So some people say, and I used to say that I'm on a keto low carb diet, but actually no, I don't even track anything anymore. What I do is I figure out those essential nutrients, and then I look at the foods that contain the most amount of those nutrients essential for life, for our well-being and our health, and then I eat the foods that deliver the most of those nutrients, not causing any problems in my body and in human body specifically, meaning no allergic reactions, no inflammation, and that's how I build my diet. And it just happens to be that foods rich in carbohydrates, starches, and sugars, they lack a lot of nutrients, so they're not efficient or effective fuel source to deliver those micronutrients that our body needs. That's why my diet is higher in fat and low in carbs, and that's why I believe that's the best for human body, because that kind of diet delivers the most macronutrients per calorie, micronutrients that our body needs for to thrive and for longevity and for so many other reasons. And that's the whole, this piece of information is all about that. The best diet for any given animal, and humans, we are also a kind of animal. So the best diet for any animal is the diet that delivers the most nutrients, macro and micronutrients specifically, with the least amount of harm, right? And the more you build your diet based on that principle to satisfy the most nutrition needs that, again, are quite well established, and you can Google them and you can find them. It's not a secret. I don't even know why people don't talk more about that. And it's actually statistically 80 to 90% of people are deficient in some of the key nutrients, and that's one of the reasons for a lot of degenerative diseases and malnutrition these days in developed world too. A lot of people eat a lot of food, but really little nutrition that our body actually needs. And so your task for your diet, if you're someone who's interested in maximum health and longevity and energy and performance, so the goal for your diet should be to maximize the amount of those life essential nutrients that your body needs. And through different foods, a variety of foods, and again, the foods that deliver maximum value, macro and micronutrients, and minimum harm. So, and that's when you get the best diet that works for you. And of course, it also will vary from region to region, depending on your stage in life, how old you are, whether you're a mom or getting ready to be a mom or nursing, or you're a kid, a teenager. That's going to be a little bit different, but a lot of principles stay the same. Because we are still all human beings, and most of the things are pretty common for us.